Not bad. I'm casting. I'm working on this city set, or this construction, or industrial parky type thingy that I've been building. Let's see if I can get this camera to work here. There's a Quonset that I'm building. You know, sort of industrial parkish type buildings. Now, some of those I'm just using that white styrofoam on a bunch of these. Okay. Yeah, I do a lot of building with the pink stuff. You know, there's like this big building back over here. That's pink stuff. You know, but that's, I mean, that's all just, most of this stuff is made from just recycled crap. This, in fact, this whole table is the baseboards I found. Driving home one day, there was about 5 or 6 of those laying on the highway. Blew out of somebody's truck. You know, the tank trap thingies that I'm making there, that's actually egg cartons that I'm casting stuff. Plaster, that's just plaster in those plastic egg cartons. You know, I saved the bottoms of them. They're actually really funky looking. You know, where's one? Whee! Here's one here. You know, but they got kind of neat little bumps on the side. They look like, I don't know, they look like funky things. So by themselves, you could stick them in various spots. You know, just, I don't know, industrially type thingy. The bunker, I've got lights and stuff going. I've got my radar dish. It circles now, but my gear ratio, I've got to play around with that or get some sort of resistor in there because it's turning too fast for me. I want it to turn really nice and slow. And then decide which other wires I want to use and cut off the rest. Yeah. On the other side, I've got a discotheque going. It's kind of cool. I'm making street lights right now. That's what I'm doing over here. I'm playing with that smooth on casting stuff. There's my mold. I've got it sitting in there between a couple boards so that it squishes it flat type thingy, eh? Except I'm using that silicone stuff. That's that, and then out of Plasticine, right beside it, that gob of Plasticine, I am making those barricades, you know, concrete barriers. There's a bunch here I've cast already. I'll show you. Set them up over here. I have been cleaning up in here, but it's, yeah. So yeah, those. I just made a wooden one here. I can't see if you can see. I'll zoom in. Hold on. There. So I carved a wooden one. Made a couple little handle holes, you know, so if they have the, because they move these things with a crane, eh? You know, hook a cable onto them and put them in place, eh? So I've got, you know, the hook things on the top. I'm just using a gob of Plasticine, eh? So I put a screw in there so I could pull it out of the Plasticine, because every time you cast one, you have to kind of, you know, it screws up a little bit along the edges, eh? So you gotta, you know, squish it back nice and straight again. Give it a little push to make your hook imprints down on the bottom. And then I've been filling it up full of plastic, eh? That gives me these, which are paintable. It's good, you know, will be indestructible. But you could use plaster too. And then in this mold, that mold over there that you can't see, I have, I'm also casting these, you know, 45-gallon drums. And these wooden barrel type things. Oh yeah, and this half barrel, so that it looks like it's kind of stuck in, you know, the ground a bit, or liquid be floating or whatever. So that's what I've been doing with those, and casting street lights, because I want to put, you know, street lights down the one street on the city section there. Yeah, so the next thing is I need one more big tall building. So, you know, my walkthroughs that I've done, you know, sort of real time doing that, you know, making something in real time. I'm going to do one of those, but with a tall, you know, 3 or 4 story kind of building, okay? Because a lot of people want big, tall buildings for their things. I mean, you can buy little stuff and it's cheap to ship stuff like that, but if you want something really big, well, the postage on that is so much that, man, you almost got to build it yourself. So I'm going to do a walkthrough with that, and then I want to do some more Lord of the Rings stuff. So I'm really, like, I've been wanting to do Lord of the Rings stuff for a long time, because that's really what I want to do, is I like doing Lord of the Rings type shit. And then I want to work on my train set too, but I got to clean up all this stuff, and god dang it, it's already middle of August, you know, freaking snow's going to be coming here pretty soon again. If not snow, it's going to be too dang cold to work out here. And inside there, man, there's not much room. I don't have much room inside. Our whole house is 600 square feet, hey, so it's really small. And I got a lot of junk. I got a lot of junk. In fact, this shop that I'm in is the same size as our house, hey, so everything, I mean, like, can't take any of this inside, really. Little stuff, little stuff. Back to this casting. This stuff here, by the way, now, it has been stored properly at room temperature, and I think I used some of that blanket coat. You know, it's a, you spray it in, and it's heavier than oxygen, so it settles down and it displaces the oxygen. Okay, so I think I used some of that in there. But this stuff is, oh man, a couple of years old, couple or 3 years old now. At least a couple or 3 years old. Yeah, yeah. And still sets up. Like, this came out good. This stuff is hard. This is good plastic too, by the way. Well, I don't know. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you exactly how hard it is. Okay? So, like I said, this is a couple of 3 years old. Anvil. Hey, by the way, these make great anvils, you know. Yeah, kind of illegal a little bit in that, you know, it's a piece of train track, right? You know, in order to get a train track, well, you almost have to either know somebody who works for the train type thing, get permission, or trespass, you know, which is like a $10,000 fine if you get caught or type thingy, eh? I've had this one for years and years and years. But you can see it's all, man, it's just worn, the track. But what they use these for is or why these things are lying around sometimes is heat expansion and stuff in the summer. They go around and they have to cut out a little chunk of the track in order to, you know, otherwise the track, you know, will warp in the heat, eh? So they gotta, you know, cut that out and pull the track straight, re-weld it together, and then in the winter time when the track starts shrinking again, they go back and, you know, either put in this chunk or another size chunk or something like that. I mean, sometimes you can put the same piece back in, but usually these are, I mean, they cut them off and they're rusting on the side of the track, eh? Anyways, they make great anvils, hobby anvils, because they're... So, we shall put one of these on top. We shall grab a hammer. We shall grab a face mask, just in case. Ding, 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 ding. And I'll give it a whack. We'll give it a really good whack. Well, yeah, I know that definitely chipped it. But I mean, like, geez, I gave it a good whack there, eh? So, falling off the table should not cause that. Anyways, tough stuff. Very tough stuff. Couple to 3 years old. Casting it in Plasticine. So, down in the States, pretty easy shit to get a hold of down there, because there's lots of places, you know, that sell it. Up here in Canada, like in my area here, there's a place out in Vancouver, and the guy was an asshole. You know, that's, I mean, if you're an asshole, I vote with my dollars. I've never, ever gone back to him. Ever, for anything. Because he was an asshole. So I get mine out of Calgary, and Yeah. Other than that, man, you're probably looking at Winnipeg, then Toronto, and then that's friggin' it for all of Canada. So, hey, smooth on, yeah? Man, I would love to distribute this shit for you. Do something. But, no, I don't have money for investment, but I would like to promote it or do stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool. Anyways, so would lots of other people, eh? Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Yeah. So anyways, I gave that, can't focus here. Yeah, it won't focus. Anyways, I gave this a dang good whack, and it actually looks just like the concrete is chipped. So that's cool. Just paint that one up. And with my extra, I've been pouring it in a mold of, I've got a mold that does roofing shingles.